Hi everyone, this is Susan Knowles with Stand for Truth Radio, and this is a segment I do called Knowles on the News. Today is Tuesday, January the 19th, 2016. First up in news today, the RNC has made its decision on who it will allow to moderate its February the 25th GOP presidential debate in Houston at a location that has yet not been decided. As you may recall, in October of last year, NBC did such a horrible job in its debate with the GOP that the RNC decided they needed to find somebody else, and quick, to moderate that February debate. Now, the Blaze.com had wanted to be the one to secure that position, but apparently the RNC went with CNN, who had previously conducted one of the GOP debates and did very well. So we'll be looking forward to that final debate on February the 25th. Also, in other news, I think in this economy, everyone is feeling the pinch, and even people that you wouldn't even think about are feeling the economic pinch. ISIS has had to slash its fighters' salary by 50%. Now, if you're like me, I didn't know that ISIS fighters had a salary, but apparently they do. They make between $400 to $1,200 a month, $50 for a wife, and $25 for their child. And so, depending on the position, it doesn't really matter, or who you are. According to ISIS, everyone across the board is going to have their salary slashed. I wonder if that means that there will be less people jumping on the bandwagon from America and elsewhere to become ISIS fighters. According to the United States, in its most successful year, ISIS made $2 billion, but according to the United States, that's really not too much when you consider it costs ISIS about $2 billion to maintain its territory in Iraq. In other news, Obama's attempt to allow millions of illegal immigrants to apply for programs that could make them eligible for work authorizations and other benefits will now be decided by the United States Supreme Court. He tried about a year and a half ago to put his plan into effect, but thanks to Texas and 25 other states, it was not carried out. That means that there are about 4.3 million illegal immigrants right now in the United States who are waiting to see the outcome of the case, which should be decided sometime in the summer before the election. It will either hurt the GOP or help the GOP, depending upon the outcome of that situation. Now, this whole thing, basically, and what people have said, and the way I feel as well, this was just Obama's attempt, once again, to create law rather than to stay within the boundaries of his executive position. And it will be great if the courts do find that what Obama was trying to do was unconstitutional, and that the people that are here waiting will need to leave the United States. And Marco Rubio spoke out immediately on Twitter and said that he felt that it would be unconstitutional and the courts would find that way, but it didn't really matter because no matter what, when he became president, he would get rid of that law. Well, I don't trust the GOP. They've said in the past what they would do, and they don't usually do it. So, again, I'm relying on the Supreme Court, which I don't really trust all that much these days either. And Senator Cruz came out and also said that he, as well, feels that this law will be found unconstitutional, and that he's very proud that Texas has led the way. Also, in other news today, you may recall Jihadi John, who was the British citizen that you have seen in past beheading videos from ISIS. Well, the ISIS has confirmed that he was killed in an airstrike earlier today. I would say rest in peace, Jihadi John, but that would be a lie. Now, for all of those who have been praising Obama, and believe it or not, there have been a few that I've run into in social media that have praised Obama on this U.S.-Iran swap, thinking that Obama did such a wonderful job in his diplomacy, that we've avoided a war, that we've opened up these great possibilities for relations with Iran. I know it makes your head spin, but bear with me here. I wrote an article for The Blaze that talks about the diplomacy, and how this is just Obama's attempt at trying to find a presidential legacy, and how horrible that all of this, the nuclear deal and including this U.S.-Iran swap, has been for America. It has been a one-sided deal, as was the former treaty. The United States in this has gained pictures of its sailors on their knees with their hands cupped behind their heads, pictures of them sitting on the floor without their shoes, unable to leave. We have swapped our innocent hostages for their criminals here in the United States that have been convicted and those pending charges. So tell me how in any way, shape, or form that this benefited America. And again, people always jump to the fact of, well, we didn't have to go to war. Nobody said we had to go to war. That was just an assumption that was made, and something that I believe that this government always holds over people's heads so they will decide not to do anything. That's been our policy now for about 7 years. Also, here's what else we gained. We know from one of the hostages that was released, Amir Hekmati. He said that during his time as a hostage, he tried to keep his head down and that he endured treatment, some of which was very inhumane and unjust. Furthermore, we're finding out today that there are missing SIM cards from 2 handheld satellite phones that were on the vessels that the sailors were on, and somehow they didn't get returned when the sailors were returned. Iran has them. I had somebody on a comment section about my article say that if I was on the Titanic and it was sinking, then I would be studying the wave patterns in the ocean. Well, perhaps if you can set aside your video games for a couple of minutes and get back to reality, that you will also see that Americans lost out in this latest U.S.-Iran swap. Until next time, I'm Susan Knowles with Knowles on the News. Take care.